A man who was broke, out of work, and frightfully frustrated, came to one of my lectures some time ago and listened to the 4 steps in prayer. He went home and applied it. He had never heard a lecture on the mind, but he said, this makes sense. He made a list of 3 things he wanted. You might call them material, but they were his needs, and he was entitled to them. What is an automobile? Isn't it a spiritual idea outside your door? Supposing all the motors in the world were destroyed by some holocaust, couldn't an engineer draw a new design and we'd roll them off by the millions? Where do you suppose the automobile is? Isn't it in the mind of the engineer? Every single thing you look at came out of the invisible mind of man or the invisible mind of the infinite. That's where wealth is, and health, and everything else. So the items on the list for this man were true place, an automobile, and all the money he needed. He chose these concrete things to see if his thoughts were things. He wanted to prove to himself that the idea of the thing was the thing itself. I said in the lecture that the idea was the reality back of the form, just like an idea of a book, which I'm writing. Where is it? It's in my own mind, isn't it? He established a definite method of working and practiced it conscientiously every day, sticking to it long enough to give it a fair chance. This man knew that you do not learn to swim after 1 or 2 attempts. He prayed for true place as follows. I know infinite intelligence responds to me. It is now revealing my true talents to me. I am aware of my hidden talents. I am receiving a wonderful income. I know the idea of true place and its manifestation are one in divine mind. I follow the lead which comes into my conscious reasoning mind. It's impossible for me to miss it. It comes clearly, distinctly, and I recognize it. Within 2 weeks from the day his experiment began, he signed a contract for a job in San Francisco. He gave thanks and rejoiced in the law of his own mind. Then he went on to the next objective, a new car. He didn't have the money to buy it. He said to me, I know I have the idea of a car. It is real, and I'm going to remain faithful to it. It must manifest. He won a car in a raffle contest. Now he knew the secret of the subconscious, that if he identified himself mentally and emotionally with the idea, the subconscious would bring it to pass. He was very thankful. The next request was more wealth. Each morning and evening, during his prayer period, he gave thanks for God's riches circulating in his life, claiming that his idea of wealth was fulfilled. He fell in love with the wealthy widow in San Francisco, and she financed his new business. This man established a definite method of working, claiming each of his desires as already fulfilled. He claimed each one separately, but all at the same time, during his morning and evening meditative period. If you pray like the above-mentioned man, and if no improvement at all shows itself within a couple of weeks, scrap that method and adopt a new one. Remember, there is an answer. That is as certain as the rising of the sun.